These are your readings from the waist up. Happy Halloween, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at our 3 charms today. Oh, okay. First one is a bluebird, if that speaks to you. Our second charm is a chess piece. And our third charm, which I think is the queen chess piece, is a bicycle. So you're gonna choose the bluebird, the chess piece, or the bicycle. And then I've got a corresponding reading. And this is gonna be for this weekend and for the week ahead. I just like to keep them short term. We'll see where your energy's at. Although that does make a lot more work for me because I'm filming every single week. But we'll see. Okay. All right, bluebird people, let's see what your energy is. Okay, oh, I love this. So open to new experiences right now. I see you being really focused and stepping into new energy. It's creative, it's magnetic. I'm working with the Shadow deck today. This is the Moonchild Tarot, and it's the Shadow version. Which I thought was appropriate for Halloween, but it was the one that called to me. So this is stepping into that energy of understanding our fears and our shadows within ourselves. Where do we hold ourselves back? And I see you just kind of radiating in this energy and not being afraid right now. This is a sense of fearlessness with this, and that looks really good for you. Your work school life though, we've got 6 of Swords in reverse. So what we want to acknowledge for you right now is things are about to get more difficult. That doesn't mean it's bad. It means it's going to be more challenging coming up. And so I just want you to be ready for that and excited to take it on, prepared to take it on. I do see you having a general sense of like, yeah, I kind of know. And, you know how to manage your emotions at the moment. Like some days you can't, but right now you can. And so you seem prepared to know when those emotions are going to get heavier and when you need to navigate that. And so, you know, with that bluebird and the idea of flying into the sky and having perspective, I want you to think about, you know, preparing yourself for when the pushes are going to come in your work school life so that you can navigate this. I feel like you're in a very safe, supportive environment. Everybody kind of knows their role and what they need to do, whether that's, you know, students, teachers, coworkers, partners, all kind of within that activity range. If you're not doing any of those, so think about it in your regular life. How do you structure your day? What are your activities of work? That might be cooking and cleaning, taking the kids to and from school, whatever the energy is. So this is how that would play into that. But I do like it quite a bit. Now your personal life, ooh, love this one. You've got some radiant emperor energy for yourself here. So just a sense of knowing who you are and what you are about. There's so much confidence that you are exuding right now. And there's also a sense of coming through something recently, like things that had been difficult, things that hung over your head in the past are now like in perspective. And you're like, I'm good, I've got this. Your sense of well-being feels very whole, very centered. So I love this. And I love that also that the Page of Wands is paired with the Emperor, because not only the Emperor knows who he is, and there's a sense of like living a full life and to get there, to be that leader, but the Page of Wands is being the student and being open and receptive to what's coming up for you next. And so that's the perfect dynamic duo of energy to have, to be acknowledge your strengths, but also be wanting to learn. So I love that for you. So good. Okay, now 6 of Cups is coming up for you next week, and that's in reverse. So little bluebird people, not that you're little, the bluebird was little. There might be some family drama. This typically for me connects as a sibling card, but that can be, you know, other family members as well. I think that there's a sense for you that you're withdrawing from some of that. And so it's like, I don't want to get caught up in all their stuff. And, you know, which is great and easy to do if you don't live at home. But if you are living with any of these people, you can only withdraw so much. You still need to have connectivity with them and be part of the family. But you can also navigate, how do we set boundaries? I don't think we should skip family meals necessarily as much as we want to sometimes when people are moody and that kind of thing. But I do think coming together for the meal always recenters us. But it might be stepping out after dinner saying, hey, I need to go and do this or take care of that. Just drawing some healthy boundaries in ways that are constructive so that you can kind of self-protect. I see this, that you're handling yourself with a sense of strength and not that you feel like you're being really strong, but I feel like you're protecting yourself emotionally. And so this looks like it's a good place for you to be in as you navigate it. And again, this is transitional energy, so it might be a hiccup this weekend. It could be, you know, with the Halloween stuff tonight, but I don't know that it's not going to last. And it also feels like it's kind of busy and hectic, so it might be a, you know, like a little electric charge and then just fizzle out, which would be great. So we don't necessarily need to hold on to that. Okay, so that is our Bluebird people. Love where you're at. I love how you're taking care of yourself, and go and have a great week. Okay, now if you are in for the chess piece, let us take a look at your cards. And I like to give it a good shuffle. I do edit out some of the shuffling. That way you don't have to waste time watching me do that. So, okay, chess piece. All right, aren't you in an interesting place? Okay, so you've got a couple soul level cards here. To me, the major arcanas are the journey of the soul, traditionally. Therefore, that for me, I translate as being part of our soul's evolution. So you're working on that path. Starting out, you have the Hermit in reverse. So there's an acknowledgement right now, and this is an easy journey for you. It's like climbing up a hill with a heavy burden to carry. You're shouldering that yourself. You're not sure what direction you're going in. I will say though, you have a lot of divine energy supporting you right now in this space. And so I do think that you are humbling up and tapping in and connecting with your spiritual center, because you might not feel like the universe is listening to you, but it is. And you are moving forward, and I do feel that you're being spiritually held here. And you've got the little chess piece, and so, you know, that's about moving strategically. If this is the Queen, which I think it is, it's one of the ones you really want to protect and hold on to the end. And so continue to move strategically, even if you don't know where you're headed right now. And that's also coming up, you know, it's interesting. So you've got the moon in your work, school environment here. And this does say, you know what the plan is. You know where you're headed in this area of your life. You're not concerned about the surprises that come up, because this is an area of strength for you, and you're comfortable navigating some of these changes that kind of go up and down. And it's interesting with the Hermit and the Moon, because that's a set of birth cards. So the Moon is 18, the Hermit is 9, 1 plus 8 is 9. They pair. So, you know, looking at this, there's a strong sense of you being very whole and very interconnected with who you are and what you need to be doing right now. So I love the strength in that for you. It does feel like there's going to be, you know, changes along the way. Your path generally with the moon is pretty clear. This one, it's not so clear, but I definitely feel like it's a terrain that you can navigate fairly easily. There's not a lot blocking your sense of direction with that. So there's some short-term, mid-term, and long-haul sense of focus of what's going on. All right, and then your personal life, you've got King of Cups in reverse. So if you're male, you might be feeling a little down, a little blue right now. If you're female, there might be a sense that there is a man that is withholding love from you right now, or is out of reach, out of town. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's, consciously withholding love, but a sense of withdrawal. So whether that's physical or emotional. And be open how you experience that or interpret that, because of course some men date men. Is a woman dating a woman, the other woman might be the king. So don't necessarily, please be liberal in my interpretation with that. So with this King of Cups in reverse, I want you to think about, as your own energy, what's feeling shut down, what feels blue. And, we're going back to that Hermit energy. Well, it feels like you're not sure where you're headed. And there's a sense of, is the universe supporting you? Well, yes, I saw that. The universe is. So you needn't be afraid. I also want you to consider that come with relationships, how are you vulnerable? There's a little bit of a call to possibly be more vulnerable. That doesn't mean being a victim. It doesn't mean sharing your wounds to feel closer to bond on wounds. It's, how do I show up for you? How do I show up for the other person? When we think about that, there's a sense of, so vulnerability is showing love and being supportive with someone, even when we have our own stuff going on sometimes. And then we can share that space once we've heard them, but it's not just going in and identifying how we're a victim and building on our wounds situation. So be open to how you need to grow right now. If it's someone else, if you've got someone and this person is pulling away from you, one, they can't just be out of town, but if they're not, if they actually feels like they're withholding love, I would say give them space. This doesn't feel like it's forever energy. And some people have their own stuff and it has nothing to do with us, but it feels like it has something to do with us. In my mind, it has something to do with me, right? So just give them some space, because I feel like they're trying to heal internally and it's not about you. And if it is about you, that's their problem, not your problem. You don't need to give them that energy. That is, if they're withdrawing from you, don't give them your energy. Take that for yourself and recoup your own self and take care of that. Oh, sorry, I saw my kitty. And okay, now moving in forward into next week, you're still trying to figure this out. And what I like is you're stepping into Page of Swords, so the student, the learning energy. How do I figure this out? What I would say is you're trying to lead with logic for a problem that isn't logical. And so, and that's interesting because we talked about strategy with our Hermit. You have the chess piece, which is logic and strategy. And yet, next week, as you move forward, don't get all caught up in your head. It might just be one that you can't figure it out, and there is a call for you to feel your feelings and just kind of own that. It doesn't mean act them out, but it's like, oh, I feel poopy. And, my husband commented the other day, he's like, oh, you're not in a good mood. I'm like, I'm fine. But I didn't want to admit to being in a bad mood, but I really wasn't. I wasn't in a horrible mood, but I wasn't in a great mood. But I didn't need to act out on him. So think about, you don't have to solve this problem right now. Just honor your feelings. That's where you need to be. Okay. So chess piece. Thank you all for listening. And let's take a look at our bicycle people. And, if you're still on here, please do all the things like subscribe, share this with someone. I am just getting started. a little bit of energy helps, so thanks. I like to feel like it's worth my while that somebody's watching me. Okay, bicycle people. Oh, so steady and consistent wins the race. You know, you think about the tortoise and the hare, although a bicycle can allow you to go faster than just on foot. So we like that energy, and it also gives us more energy. We can utilize our energy longer than we can if we are running. So I see you being empowered as the Knight of Pentacles. Love this for you starting out. You know, you just seem to be in a good place. You know what you're doing. You're acknowledging your strengths. You're still at a point of growing and learning. But you're not at the beginning, you're not at the end, you're just in this middle space of like, yeah, I'm good, I'm getting it done. It doesn't mean life has to be exciting. Although I feel like you're excited about this weekend and tonight. There's some good sparkles here, and you're just curious to see what's going to be transitioning. You've got this full moon coming up next week. That seems like it's going to be something that empowers you. And maybe you're wrapping up something and you just want to feel it being done. So I love this. Okay, and the bicycle is again going to make your life a little bit easier. So this way that you're moving through life, it's like, how can I do this more efficiently, more effectively, with less pressure, all of that. So work life, school life, 8 of Wands, full of activity and energy. So good communication, moving forward, taking action, lots of communication. And that's interesting because we do have Mercury retrograde coming up. So we might be beginning to transition into some of that energy as we move into the kind of shadow period beforehand. So just be cognizant to double check everything, because I feel like you've got good communication going on, but there's things that are going to be kind of creeping up for you that I was going to say you didn't expect them, but I'm not sure that, and maybe you did. It's just they're going to be kind of revealed to you. So extra things to navigate and manage. But it feels like you're on top of that. The energy is good for that. Yeah, and this looks just positive for you right now. All right, so another 8. We've got 8 of Swords in reverse in your personal life, so we love this. And this is removing your own mental blocks. And I love that because, again, we were looking at the shadow deck here. So it's about moving past our fears. Personally, you're doing what you need to do. There is a sense of good healing energy around you. If you've been fighting a cold, I definitely feel like that's on the down spiral, like you're getting better. But I can see possibly some mucus or congestion in here. So just kind of be cognizant, make sure you have plenty of tissues around. There's a lot of good transformation that's happening for you at the moment. There's a sense of clearing in your energy. So perhaps you're doing some cleaning of things because, you know, when we need to clear energy, it doesn't mean we just have to, you know, wrap a sage wand around our head. That also means cleaning the house, reorganizing. All of that is literally, when we clear the house, we clear the energy of it. And so whatever you're doing that has a cleansing energy to it seems really important for you right now, because there was some old sort of stagnant energy, like I see it as like dust balls under the couch, but that kind of energy sitting in your house. And so that kind of needs to be removed. And if you've already done it, great. But there is a sense that you've been taking really good care of what you need to do to open your mind and find your level of feeling good. And I love the idea of just riding the bike and maybe going hands-free and just, you know, enjoying the pleasure of the ride. What did they call it? Farfignutten back in the day, which was Volkswagen's ad campaign of the joy and the pleasure of driving. This is that with the bicycle. And by the way, it does have the big cushy, you know, fat daddy seat, so you can enjoy the ride a little more. Okay, now moving forward into next week for you. It's interesting you had the bicycle. We've got 5 of Wands in reverse. So we're looking at some of the challenge here. And for me, this is traditionally the exercise card. So perhaps you're getting off your bike. But it's also a card of creative energy. Sometimes this can show up as creative block. So that's something to consider for yourself. If you might be stepping into some creative block or just a need to slow down. There could be energetically for you like a pause. Maybe that's just taking Sunday and really chilling out and not doing anything, but a sense of decompression. I do think you want to have more motion, more creativity, more energy in your life, but it's just not there. It's like you need this rest. You need to take this moment to let everything sort of air out and just decompress yourself. You know, and if you've got a hangover, hey, that would be it. You know, it's like all you can do is sit on the couch and hydrate. And I would just say honor that energy. If you're not going to the gym this week, just give yourself grace that it literally wasn't in the cards for you, okay? So we're gonna take that and roll with it. So overall though, love where you're at. This looks really good. You're in a good place, and just honor the break that you need. All right, that is it for this week. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in, and I will see you next week.